it's going to come unstuck quite quickly.
Yeah.
And that's where border really, for me, is going to be a good leveling ground for both these two teams as to, one, how are NIP going to keep up with that, because they did fantastically this morning. There's no reason why that should slow down. But they're going to be going up against much stiffer competition
Great
here.
ban.
It's in a Ying ban demo.
Great ban. M80 will abuse that. NIP taking it off the table immediately. Rightly so, because they are defense first. So it makes sense that they're going to make sure that Ying's going to be disabled. Sure, you may say, oh, but then we'll get the Ying. You want to try and pull back 6 rounds, 5 rounds after being rinsed by said Ying? No, you don't.
It could be too late at that point. M80 are going to go with the Monty ban.
Again, makes sense.
A great ban. We saw a little bit of Monty earlier this morning from NIP. We know them of old to be a very good shield team. I feel like Julio sort of planted that seed and has watched it grow into a beautiful oak tree now.
Not seeing many Monties from M&M though, are we? It hasn't carried over.
No, you're not going to get used on a Monty, are you? Let's be honest. But Mirror coming in as the second ban. And Azami to round things out. So we are left with the Solace. Can be devastating on this map.
We're at the stage where there's so many good defenders.
There's too many?
More bans, please.
Valkyrie just gets let through now, and it's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, you've got Valkyrie.
I mean, I don't think Valkyrie... I must be the only one who thinks Valkyrie... She's okay. I wouldn't say she's, like, massive. I think she's, like, A tier. She's not S tier.
I think it's in the bracket of needing looking at.
Well, the thing is with Valkyrie is teams have just been bringing bulletproofs to fill in for that. I don't think you really get the full value out of free cameras. As long as you have one that you know it's going to be a blind spot in your setup, that's really all you need. So that's what teams bring. Look, Fenrir, what does he have? The old bulletproof.
And we speak about all these new and fancy operators with the great gadgets on the defense, and Psycho still rocks back to the Dark. But do you know what? All I want, I just want a stim pistol.
Doc's very good for the way that I assume M80 will attack this. If they play Psycho in a kind of position where he will be very prone to nades, for example, in the Brazil position, as you can see right beside the hatch, M80 will try and go below and nade him from below. Doc can stim himself over that. So if he knows there's going to be a nade incoming, stim up, doesn't get killed. Even playing right here where he is by the desk by Banana, you can stim yourself up. So I do like the fact that they're kind of counter-playing what M80 will do, and that is go below.
Yeah, they know there's going to be a big focus on those nades. It's not always viable to have a WAMI or an ADS in that position, and Doc can be often the best way of dealing with that, especially when you have the Azami removed. You then left with a much more limited option of how you can hold on to CCTV. You need to keep a body in there.
Yeah, pretty good setup from NIP. I like the extension across, making sure that you have pretty much the control of every position in top floor. You're extending right towards office. You're going to open up that triple wall. Don't give them that freedom of being able to set up and push. Just try and keep them at the building for as long as you can. Yeah, there's the Doc in the position I expected to see. You also note that NIP, they've reinforced the hatch. Ollie, that's very, very important if you're playing that position. If you leave it soft, all it takes is, Spoit to go below, ash it, and then that's a line of sight that you can play against the defender in that position, looking right onto the rotate hole. So, little tip for everyone, make sure that hatch is reinforced if you do intend to play there. And as expected, M80 downstairs they go, Ollie, with those nades.
Straight downstairs to try and get something working. We see Gomez just trying his hand at one there at the top of those stairs.
I haven't used him for the Doc, Ollie. That's both nades wasted and they've done nothing.
It's kind of surprising, really, isn't it? Kino, he's looking to try and make some sort of an entry in here through break, just holding the cross for the meantime, but the defenders, they're not being given too much of a reason to move right now. Kino's got himself in quite a nice little spot here. He has the potential to jump out on Diaz, and I'm not entirely sure if Diaz is aware of that. Spoiter's got a great line from the top of East, just cutting right down one corridor. Going to open himself up a little bit of a line of sight to work with as well.
Oh, the trigger of the Fenrir gadget as Gomez tries to make a dash towards East, but there Kino jumps straight in the window. We catch him trying to go for the stim mid-gunfight. Kino finds another, and there's Gomez who slipped right free. Break finds two. No, never mind. Cons is there to shut him down, but there's still going to be a player on the ground. Cons has to try and dip in here and get another kill back for his team, as Iconic does finish off the down player, but no, Wizard gets eliminated, and down goes Cons. M80 in a flurry. Just kill everything that moves.
Fast and fierce, that's what we were expecting here from M80. Spoit straight into the top of those East stairs, moving his way through, devastating inside of Fountain. Dare I say that NIP looked a little bit flat-footed there, Demo?
They didn't really move their positions, did they? They all just stayed still, and M80, I think they realized, right, there's one guy by himself. Let's just send 3 people at him. He can't kill us all. And, you know, Doc, very fortunate, I think, to catch the Doc mid-stim, which always is going to help them. But like I said, as soon as one player dies, you lose so much map control. Look, you lose control of security, and then there's a direct line of sight right into Fountain to get a guy killed. That's what I'm talking about. It's the layers. We've seen them playing Jenga earlier with Chambers behind the scenes. That's what it's like. You take the wrong piece out and it's gone. It's done.
The best thing about that is that I don't think that M80 did anything to the map. We saw a Selma charge get thrown right at the end.
Some very limp grenades being tossed around it that nobody...
In terms of destruction,
yeah.
It wasn't like they had a book that was going to make it. They were just utilising these lines of sight that NIP have left open.
Kills and teamwork.
Yeah.
That was it. Friendship. The power of friendship, which we know that's what NA at the moment is powered on, is friendship.
NIP, they're going to have to go for a slightly different approach here. Going to be going downstairs. There's a first port of call.
Your favourites on the board?
Capcan. There's some cracking Capcans on the board. There are some real.
Because there's doors that you don't believe are doors, but they are doors.
They don't look like doors.
Talking about that upstairs corridor, aren't we? Towards east.
A little double.
There's double doors there, which are indeed doors. It doesn't look like it because they are massive doors, but door's a door. No matter how big, how small.
I've got a Brava though. Ooh, Gomez. You're going to do your homework. You almost can't believe his luck there. He's only spotted one Fenrir. Spoit, he's going to find the opener on Pino. Better hope that all those Capcans have been placed, because that's the only value you're going to get from him now, especially given that C4 goes with him, Demo.
Psycho trying to get a kill back, goes the run out towards east, but nobody's there. M80 have got that pretty locked down well, you know, using the Dokkaebi, making sure that they can play slow. And that's the way I think M80 like to play, is they will have that good, you know, backline. Usually Diaz and Kino will play the more supportive operators, such as Lions, such as Dokkaebi, who are there to enable the likes of Gomez, the likes of Icon, the likes of Spoit. Very passive. The supports will wait until their fraggers are ready to go. Then they'll move in together with them.
Iconic's in the site with the diffuser here. This is a little bit worrying, especially if you're an IP. We're going to see a Lion scan come out. Spoit finds himself onto Wizard. A triple down, making it 3 as the kills continue to flood in. The plant's gone down. NIP, where were you? The site was occupied fully there by M80 for a good portion of time, and NIP didn't seem to have a clue. Now, is that going to be an exit frag, Muzi, or are you going to try and do a little bit more with it? You've got 30 seconds and 4 kills to find. Full white flashed at the top of East stairs. Hits the prone, the Lion scan roots him in place. Every second that ticks by, this is looking more and more unachievable. Takes an engagement on the stairs, picks himself up another. At this point, he's padding his stats. He's going for kill records because that's all it is ever going to be. With 10 seconds on the clock, long angles being held. It's Diaz to pick him up as he makes his way down those east stairs. That is a worrying sign from NIP.
They don't move. They're not active. They're just... Here's the thing. I credit NIP earlier whenever they played against Falcons, where they were playing, everyone played their positions really well. Everyone was able to say, okay, I'll play this position, I'll hold this, I'll hold that. That works really well if you get your kills. If you don't get your kills and you start losing the opening engagement, which they've done twice now, then that's where issues start to happen. NIP need to realize that if things are not working and you lose a player, you need to go and get that kill back, especially against M80.
Spoit got 3 kills walking in main door. Something that I've noticed about the way that M80 are playing at the moment, we saw it in round of 1 with Ephemeria, we saw it then with Spoit. Something like a proximity alarm, a whoop whoop, or a Ephemeria gadget. These guys just don't care. They just move through it.
Look, Spoit is a player.
It doesn't matter.
The way Spoit plays the game is Spoit will go off and do something, and he'll say, guys, could I do this? His team will then do everything they can to see if he can, and then they'll let him go and do it. That's the way they operate. Spoit, look, he sat outside main door, he waited to ask, guys, could I just walk in main door here? And they're like, hold on, someone drone for him, Dokkaebi call goes in, Lion call goes in, he's straight in and he kills him. That's the way they operate. They enable Spoit. They allow him to do what he does best, and that is just kill everything. That's it.
Iconic this time getting a good amount of value out of the Brava. Couple of gadgets rendered useless for the time being. Diaz this time
Another opening
Seems
kill.
to be just take your pick. Who wants to get the opening kill, because it's going to be on to Pino. Pino currently sitting 0 and 3. Gomez gets himself into a skirmish, dips himself out of back room there. As M80, they're not seeing too bad success here just from outside to in. They haven't really committed to the map yet. 50 seconds. They've still chipped down a good number of hit points and taken Pino out in the process.
Just look as if M80 are just probing where they want to attack. You know, they're kind of just running around the building. I'll check this window, I'll check this window. We'll see if we can find a pit. They're not really committing to any one direction, which is probably the way you want to play Border. You know, you want to try and give yourself as many options as you can. There's a lot of different doorways, there's a lot of angles you can get, and obviously I think with Buck being open, you know, we just seen there, Gomez jumping in bathroom, can open up that wall into bathroom, has a long angle, stuff like that. That's going to help you a lot.
And M80 don't need to commit to that because they know they can come back to it later when it's maybe a little bit of a better time for them. Cons hasn't done a terrible job of keeping himself alive here. He's still operating in and around the site. Which, you know, sounds like a crazy thing to say, that he's kept himself alive in the site for a couple of minutes, but with the way that M80 have been playing, that hasn't always been too easy. He's seen quite a bit of pressure in down there. We've now got Kino and Gomez looking to make their way into Armory potentially. Psycho's still trying to hold down onto this top floor, but he seems to be lacking a little bit of information here. Certainly isn't aware that Spoit's going to be swinging the corner. A couple of shots traded between them both, and this is when Gomez can come in for the pinch.
Psycho has to win this engagement to try and keep his team in it now. Ollie make himself aware, and it's not a favourable engagement as the rest of his team starts going down. And look, the diffuser's getting planted. M80 they've slipped in these plants, Ollie, and NIP are not ready for it.
Plant is successful there. Wizard might get the kill, but it isn't really going to matter. Gomez from above, along with Spoit, has great access onto the plant here.
Yep.
Good visibility as well. Spoit just holding the player at the top of those main stairs right now. It's going to get peeked and taken out there, but Gomez, he's on a tear. He's picked up 3.
Shotgun.
Wizard. Sorry, Muzi, he's now going to have to go for that retake, just avoids the flash for the time being, but there isn't going to be enough time left for him really to affect onto anything here. Gomez might find his 4th, drops prone, and will do just exactly that. It wouldn't have mattered too much if he'd have found the kill either way there. The clock was ticking. M80, another round where they just get themselves into sight, find all the space in the world, get that plant down.
It's too easy. This, I'm getting deja vu, but it's like it was NIP did this to Falcons earlier.
Yeah.
Now we've got the reverse flip. M80, all credit to them. The way they're seeing the game. They're just waiting for the opportune moment, aren't they? And this is what we worry about NIP. NIP are a team which have not adapted to the new meta. The way M80 are playing, this is the way you'll see G2 play. This is the way W7M will play. It's the way BDS, I think, earlier, it's the way they were playing. They were seeing moments where they could just walk in and do things. Exactly the same. This is the way you need to play Siege. This is it, everyone.
You've got to forget the rules of need to take top floor, need to clear everyone out.
It's
if there's a
that
gap,
doesn't
if
exist.
there's a space in the site and there's no one occupying that space, get in and get the diffuser down.
You have to seize the moment. Carpe diem.
Don't even start. NIP, they are going to seize this moment for a timeout. Probably not a bad time. 3 rounds down. You've seen half of the defense. You can't really afford to go 6-0 down here on Border. You're going to want to get a couple of attacks under your belt. So they used that time for a little bit of a chat. Try and steady the ship. Try and bring a little bit of confidence back from this morning, because they were exuding confidence this morning demo. They couldn't put a foot wrong, and now it feels like they have entirely shifted onto that other side. Whereas before we were saying NIP, they can't lose a gunfight. It now looks like they can't win a gunfight.
Whenever we highlight players such as Pino, who are always going to be in for look at having a good game just because he's a great player. He's a 1-3 always. Not good to see. I mean, obviously M80. I mean, Iconic hasn't got a kill yet, but he hasn't really had to do much all day.
I think he's had 2 plants, hasn't he?
Yeah. Well, he jumped in just in the site, and I think Kino planted last round, if I'm not mistaken. He was on the Dokkaebi, which Dokkaebi and Lion, great combination for Border. You know, we've mentioned before, Border it's an opportunistic map where you have to play fast. You don't need no hard reach, you need no ferment, no faction, none of that. Bring the things which are going to get you kills.
It's a great combination anywhere, isn't it? Look toward that Lion Dokkaebi combination, especially with the secondary utility that they can bring now as well.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily looking to get walls open here, but the secondary EMPs can be really nice for even just mute jammers.
Even a Gone 6 as well, which they get, which is great to have. Both of them, 2 Gone 6s for if there is the odd shield, which as we know, there hasn't been a lot of smoke. that we've
Smoke's
seen.
no shield
Yeah,
now,
you know,
though.
no shield.
Yeah.
It's hit him quite hard, hasn't
I think
it?
we saw him a little bit on Cafe from NIP. And a little bit on Chalet as well.
Yeah,
I do remember
but
a little
not
bit of Chalet,
the same caliber that we're
considering
used to
you've
seeing.
gone from seeing Smoke as like an 80% picked operator
Yeah.
to now we can barely remember a couple of rounds where he was.
Look, having the hatch reinforced, he's safe, he's not going to get naded. This is exactly what they wanted, but once again,
Still gotta
Spoit,
watch out for the wall.
he's revived until Spoit. Pistol!
Oh, Spoit's been caught there.
He's panicked, there's
He's
about
been
3 players.
baited in. Moosey's done a great job there of actually getting some value out of that, because Psycho was probably dead either way, but the fact that Moosey's actually gone in and challenged that, it means that it's just been neutralized a little bit. Gomez taken out elsewhere as first blood as well. First time NIP have that man count advantage. Got half the round left to try and cling on though, and M80, we know that they aren't done yet. They're still looking for those outside to in angles.
Still got Dopey Call, still got a Lion Charge they can use. A nade, maybe Iconic to try and get one nestled in. Diaz towards east now. Maybe they're thinking of going for an east side attack. Kino's also with him, looking to push in towards office. Oh no, Pino just gives himself up, Ollie. Needless, I would describe that as.
It's a little bit soft, isn't it? Kino going to find
dear.
himself one onto Cons as well, and all of a sudden the tables have turned. Moosey, he's going to be able to rotate there out of CCTV and think about
Kino.
moving through, but Kino catches him at the right time. It's a bit of unfortunate timing there from Moosey. He looked a little bit stuck as to whether he was going to go into office and fountain, or whether he was going to commit a little bit further to the attack. M80, they have pulled around out of nowhere. How? How?
3 versus 4. I mean, I think Pino started that. That was where the
It was a bit of
floodgates
a
opened.
needless peak, wasn't
You
it?
don't need to do that. You know, I think Psycho being able to get the kill, and I would give him like the kill assist for this. He didn't shoot Spoit at all, but we'll give him the kill assist just because he was a pain. But moments like that, it's just, yeah, it's... I don't know. What was he... I don't know.
Especially on the rewatch there, that was very needless. And especially, you know, you think about Moosey maybe getting caught out there. He suffered some real bad timing, but the damage was already done. You know, you've got Diaz pushing through that quad wall as well. It would have been nice to see NIP just back themselves off to site a little bit, but I think with the pressure that M80 are applying to all areas of the map,
That's what you
it
need
can
to
be
do,
very
yeah.
difficult to do that, and especially if crosses are being held. If you know, right, we're at a deficit, they have an advantage, they should be rotating back to site now. Let's hold a couple of rotates for a few seconds. Bish bash bosh, you've got yourself a couple of kills.
Diaz hasn't died yet. Is this an Iron Man match from him? Could be. See if he can do it. But boy, M80. I mean, I see border. I just think, yeah, it's going to favour them. This is right up their street. I think NIP thought, right, if we get the Ying, we could maybe get some rounds here. But nope. Nope. Still, they can adapt to. And again, M80, just that Lion and Dopey combo has been deadly, hasn't it? It's been really, really strong for them. And again, Spoit has just been getting stuck in, looking for those opportune moments. Spoit's almost, on border especially, he's almost just adapted, I'm going to go do my own thing roll, hasn't he?
Not a bad role to get yourself into. You've got to work quite hard to get there, and the team has got to give you that space to do it and pick up the slack from where you sort of let it off, because if you're not working as the team, there are going to be a couple of areas that are missed.
We look at that major win that Rogue had. What was the big thing that Rogue did well? They enabled Spoit.
Yeah.
What are M80 doing?
Exactly
There you
the
go.
same.
They're playing to the strength. You build around this kid because
I don't know if Spoit's having the best game on the side at the minute. No one's having a bad game.
I know.
You look at Kino,
It's
6
just
and
whenever
2,
things click.
Diaz
Yeah.
4-0. Like, there's got to be a time where you wonder as NIP, like, are we trying a little bit too much here? Are we trying to hold a little bit too much of the map? You've not really got much choice on this map. You see a great kill come through as a trade there. Moosey picking up first onto Kino, but Spoit there to collect. We've got Cons hiding inside a break. This double castle barricade strategy is quite a common one,
Yeah,
but
it's good, yeah.
it's very easily dealt with, especially when you bring in an Ash.
It just gives yourself just another layer that you can hide behind border. It's a map that we know is very open, trying to disable some of the angles. I mean, even Psycho casting that double door, it means that nobody towards the east windows are able to kill him, for example. So it's very, very strong to have. And Iconic, oh, just another freebie it seems to be. NIP giving these stupid kills away, Ollie, that they just shouldn't be happening. Spoit finds Psycho and Pino in a 1v4, just in a flash. He's probably thinking, where did I end up here?
Unless his entry denials go crazy here, it's going to be very difficult. We see Spoit jumping over the top.
1 man and 5 EDDs, can he do it?
Can he pull it off? Bodega, he's looking over for a reaction. I'm not sure if he's going to get
He's
one.
back, stand
or
behind
not.
them, of course.
Of course, yeah, it's been a while
It's been
since
a while.
Bodega stood behind the team.
get the back rubs in.
Oh dear, NIP. I was expecting a lot more out of this fixture. There's still time yet, of course. It's map 1. It's very early on. It is border. It can flip and flop a little bit. But stuff like this is, I mean, it doesn't matter when you are in the tournament. That shouldn't be happening. You shouldn't be going
lack of refrags.
Yeah.
Massive lack of refrags on NIP's part.
Yeah. You really don't need to be looking too hard for those kills as the defenders. They are going to come to you.
Oh dear. Really was left hanging there. Nobody high-fived them.
That's diabolical. Who's sat next to Spoit? We need to get an action replay on that. Are you a high five guy or a fist bump guy?
I mean, I don't play.
No, but if you played, what would you prefer?
If I did play.
Would you prefer like a high five or like a fist bump?
No, whoever I was upside would have like a little handshake.
What, an actual like a little five bump?
Shuffle, stuff like that. No, if I do, I'd just do a you can't see me kind of vibe.
Round number 6. Last round of the current half. Are NIP going to be able to pick up a round? I honestly hope so. I don't want this to be a blowout fixture.
Hate to break it to you.
I mean, it's looking like a blowout fixture on border.
Didn't want you to find out like this.
Yeah.
Finally, NA pulling out some big wins. Jesse Chick, he is currently backflipping in the talent room is what we're told. Can't believe it. Little does he know that there's only one American in this team. Little does he know.
The stack up here looks a little bit dangerous from M80. They could be looking to go fairly direct here. We've got a lot of players stacking up outside of detention. Threat from a nade from below as well, as a little bit of drone work is performed. Cons going to rotate himself back into the side as he feels that pinch.
Obviously it is customs. M80 I think are going for much more direct approach. You can see the double hard breach. They're bringing in the Thermite because there is a little bit extra that you have to do. Obviously you've got the 2 walls towards Passport. You've got that main jail wall also that you need to get opened up. So having the 2 ain't a bad thing to have, of course. Gomez looking to see if he can maybe just eliminate the players above without having to go above. Oh no, Kino has jumped the gun. He's tried to walk in by himself. Nobody with him. Loses out. Spoit will get the refrag. But Cons, he's in hot seat. He is in the midst of it. He needs to make sure that they do not enter through that window and into the B bomb site.
Cons can call out a great amount of information here off the Fenrir gadget as well, but he's got the window to worry about. And even though no one's actively there at the moment, he knows that it's going to be a big problem for later. Is able to catch a good portion of damage over onto Spoit and eventually finish him off with his own nade.
Brilliant
Goes
from
for the
Cons.
aggressive swing, takes Gomez down as well. Surely this is NIP's time for a round. He's getting pretty confident here, even going for a little bit of a peek outside. Iconic, maybe just coming in to try and steady the ship. Don't forget, the diffuser is on the ground cold inside of detention. That was in the hands of Kino as that opening pick, so certainly not ideal. NIP, they just need to hold their nerve here. They don't need to go looking for these kills.
Yeah, but I think Cons is going to be the decider, Ollie. He's in a great position. Diaz is proxied there. I don't know where he is. The HP he has, Ollie, I think it's only a matter of time. So NIP have held it well. M80 just really struggling. I think Kino just walked in. He walked in too quick, didn't he? Jumped the gun. Cons obviously got unchecked. Did they not know he was there?
I'm not sure. We thought there might be some sort of a...
Because they had 2 sets of nades. They could have used the nades on the window, but they never went for that. So I don't know if they knew he was there.
Yeah, we kind of got the feeling that there was going to be some sort of a rush around there just due to the stack up outside of detention when the wall got breached. Not sure if it was a misdraw, not sure if it was miscommunication. Maybe M80 just taking their foot off the gas a little bit, seeing as they've seen so much success so far. But it wasn't a terrible attempt. I think Spoit got pretty unlucky because he did get wall banged there as he was going in with the nade, but no one really dealt with Cons effectively, and you could maybe credit that to Gomez. He knew that there was a player there inside of supply, so maybe could have done a little bit more to try and work that. There was no intention of going upstairs either. Obviously, one of the easiest ways to clear out supply is to get yourself upstairs. You get a great line of sight in onto the window. You can really flush the players out of there. Not the easiest site to attack, but certainly not up to the standard that we've seen so far from M80 in this matchup. That said, the sides have now switched. NIP, they get the attack.
Yeah, I mean, 5-1, they'll be more than happy with that one. Then they get to go on the defense.
Oh, and look at what they get to play with, Demo. They get a Valkyrie, they get a Solace.
I mean, like, come on. 4 of those operators, probably excluding Mute, are so strong.
It's ridiculous.
They really are. Warden is, you know, so unique in what he can do. Whenever a lot of teams are always going to be running flashbangs, it's going to help you out a bunch. Fenrir, I've said before, just E-fills are also so many, stops rushes, really good against aggression. Obviously as an indicator if someone's pushing a doorway, for example. And just that general fear, I think. I mean, that's what it produces fear, Toxins, doesn't that? That's what it does. Very smart, that fear produces fear.
Music going to be rocking the IQ. We saw him play this morning quite a bit, especially seeing as Falcons were very fond of the Solace as well. They weren't really able to make it work, though, against NIP.
No.
NIP were very good at dealing with things like the Solace, things like the Fenrir, due to the fact that Muzi was doing such a good job on the IQ.
Of course. This is a bit of an oldie but goldie. We're seeing the old Ossa Shield set up outside of East, ready to see if they can maybe sneak a plant in. But if you want to go for a plant, you need to take below. That's the main thing that needs to happen. There is 3 C4, so triple set to denial that they're going to have to go through. No impacts, though. Spoilage use both as impacts, so that may cause issues with trying to eliminate the Ossa Shield from upstairs.
Pino getting himself into an engagement there with Mute, as they were just getting a little bit too close for each other's comfort. Muzi going to find the opening pick onto Solace. Not sure if that was off the back of the information from IQ Scanner or not, but it's an opening pick nonetheless. Wizard will fall as well. Kino, he hasn't got a great amount of health here. It's going to be full white flash as he tries to navigate himself through the office. Iconic is there ready and waiting, but Diaz.
It's all about Diaz.
He's in the prime position.
Look, Iconic just moves up. Do they know he's there, though? Because if they don't, I mean, would you believe someone would be there? Would you believe that someone has rotated over to that position? I'm not sure, actually. Maybe Cos does have an idea. Sprays through. No, does not win it against Iconic. He was aiming low. Iconic was aiming high. And well, I've got news for you. Headshots. All it takes is 1 bullet for them.
I think Kino did a fantastic job there inside of Office. He was still able to win that engagement despite being 1 HP.
Just you look at NIP. Look how outdated that was.
Very old style push, wasn't it? Real old school.
That was a year ago.
Yeah.
People were doing that a year ago.
But they were doing it a year ago with things like the Claws or things like a Ying and a little bit more disruption. With the Warden available, that's not always such a viable option. We didn't have anybody on Sandwich Repel. We didn't have anybody even pressuring into Armory. Just open the wall.
Look,
you don't have to do too much.
If you're going for that push, you need someone in Sandwich window. You need someone ready to maybe go below. You need someone on Vents window. 1 guy outside, he's ready to plant. And honestly, you need 1 guy backstabbing Armory door.
Yeah.
That's the setup that you need.
You could maybe go main stairs.
And the reason why that Armory backstab is so important is to stop players such as that Warden sitting by the half wall, which we knew about with the C4. Last thing he's going to be worried about, if he knows that he has to deny the plant, and there's also a guy on Sandwich window, last thing he's going to be worried about is a guy walking in Armory, because he's got too many things to think about.
Yeah, the Sandwich window guy can't do anything about the guy that's playing ready for the plant denial.
You need to put as much pressure on teams as possible.
You're there in case you need it.
You know, you said about NIP earlier, NIP just were flat-footed, they didn't know what to do. Because there was so much being thrown at them. NIP need to do the same. That's how you play Border. Just keep on piling on the pressure to the defenders, because they eventually will crack. Probably one of the only maps where there's moments where, yeah, there's literally nothing you can do. It's one of those maps.
Oh, on Border, you can very quickly find yourself in a position where there's nowhere safe. And you're just running around like a headless chicken as a defender because you just can't find that pocket of safety.
Got so many unwinnable positions.
That's what it felt like when NIP were on the defense. When M80 are on the defense, they're finding these pockets because they're seeing the gaps. They're seeing, oh, there's no one else up there, no one coming through arm. They're like, oh, we can just chill. Like, we don't have to worry about anything.
Because whenever M8 are a great team at playing Border, you know, if you're not against a team who is equally as good, you will exploit them because you'll know things that they won't.
Potential match point here for M80.
It is match point. Potential map win.
Potential map win.
There you go.
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Of course, we do have another map coming at least, potentially too. Depending, of course, on how everything pans out. Spoit playing inside of Office. You know that Cons is crouch walking in. It doesn't look like it. Cons takes advantage there. Is going to lock his sights onto the player on Fountain, but just swings a little bit too deep. Diaz, he's widened his stance so far.
He done so well to get that first pick, and then he does it too much. A great swing from Wizard with that SMG to eliminate Diaz. Oh, a great shot! Kino ahead, clean off the shoulders. M80 have lost the man advantage. 2 players left, Iconic and Gomez.
It hasn't gone to plan.
No?
The opening portion of the round. It wasn't looking too bad, but didn't account for was Wizard.
Look where both of them are, Ollie. They're not even in sight. One in vents, one towards customs. What are they thinking here? Maybe a double retake? Is that potential for them?
I mean, the diffuser's in Narnia right now. It needs to be recovered. I think it's outside of
retake.
CCTV.
Double retake.
They're going to have to try and get some control over that diffuser before they start thinking about the next steps. You might have the man advantage, but you don't always want to risk it just coming down to the trades. If you can get the plant down, it's going to help to try and guarantee that a little bit. Looks in the meantime, though, that NIP, they're just trying to find these kills vertically, but instead they're taking a good chunk of damage, and Iconic gets an opportunity he cannot pass up on. An easy free one over onto Pino, and just like that, everything's level. Iconic finds himself down. Gomez is going to be prone, just watching through the drone hole, seeing if he can find anything. The plant is going to start to go down now. He's got a lot of work to do. He's going to get flashed out. There's no rotation for him. It's unforgivable. Full white flashed. He can't challenge off that. Needs to wait for that to dissipate. Hits the pre-fire, but isn't successful. Wizard, 4 kills on the round.
No rotates, let him down there. I understand what you're looking very confused. I know why they've not put a rotate. And the reason why is I actually feel as though more attackers actually get value out of that rotate than what defenders do. Because where does that rotate lead into? Right beside a window. A window outside. I can't tell you how many times I've just jumped into sight straight in the bathroom because that rotates there. But without that rotate, you're jumping into a window which is kind of trapped in like a bit of a corridor.
Yeah, I get it.
So, but
it would have been nice to have for him at that point, though.
Obviously, but I think they planned that they, things do go planned upstairs, as you said they didn't.
That's wrong.
Why.
Yeah.
It's all good in theory.
We need a plan B. Oh, excuse me?
See that?
Diffuser.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's a legal Iconic.
He was very good there, wasn't he? Just dancing around the floorboards.
I think Wizard's done a great job there.
Yeah, he just said, you know what, someone has to get some kills
Yeah.
here.
Give me the SMG and
Great
we
shot.
go.
And that second kill he got with the SMG was brilliant.
Much better round there from NIP. Problem is, M80, they're still on match point. So they've got to try and chain those together, Demo. They need 4 of those in a row if they're going to be successful here on board.
5 seconds remaining.
Need a lot more of them. Need a lot more. It will be the ventilation room and workshop for M80.
Reloading.
They brought the bandit in. Is that the potential bandit trick upstairs? Maybe it could be, but I think bandit tricking in this day and age, Ollie's a bit of a tricky one, obviously with the nades that we have kicking around. Okay, just going to be used just to be a bit of an annoyance more than anything. Very rare you would see EMP grades, on a map like Border. Facture is a little bit too slow almost for this map. I almost feel as though like picking a 1-speed in Border, you're asking for pain.
Yeah,
You're asking for it.
You'd see secondary MPs when you wouldn't see. I mean, Thatcher's...
But those are limited with some of the more niche operators, aren't they?
You'd look at maybe a Lion or a Dokkaebi for that. Dokkaebi's probably going to bring the stuns. He's probably going to get a bit more value out of that.
Yeah.
You could squeeze it from the Lion, but...
I mean, even he just flashes then as well, so
Yeah.
it's like...
I think the thing about Thatcher that makes me laugh is he's still got an incredible BAM rate. But actually, Thatcher is terrible.
Yeah. I
speed.
still don't know why people are banning that.
It's just awful.
I don't get it.
It really
if you're not
makes me
banning
laugh.
Ash and Ward in your ranked games, you're doing it all wrong, by the way.
Spoke with the opener onto Wizard, the star of the show from the previous round, taking out his first blood here. Doesn't bode well for NIP.
See, looking for the backstab. Nobody's home at the moment. This is what you want to see though from NIP. You need someone lurking around that side of the map. And sees the panda, he shoots a shot, gives himself away. Oh, if he didn't shoot, he could have just waited there for Spoit to run back again.
A little bit of trigger discipline would have gone a long way there. As it stands, bodies continue to fall for NIP. Cons picks himself up 1 freebie. He knows that there's a player inside of CCTV.
There's 2.
He's just patiently
He's
around
up the
waiting
hatch
for the
for his
rotate.
teammate.
Pino's actually rotated in there as well. The hatch might be open, but it might not be an option here. Muzi, you've got to move quickly here, my friend. Your teammate is about to get caught in a 2 versus 1. Muzi swings through, picks up damage onto the first. Can Cons find the second with the pistol? It's a scrappy fight, but he comes out on top. The diffuser in the hands of Pino. As he's upstairs looking to try and rip open a little bit of that floor in an equal 2 versus 2. Still 40 seconds left.
Diaz is just on the floor while all that's happening. His teammates are in Armageddon. He's just chilling in blue. But, I mean, to be honest, though, that's just what he needs to do. It's NIP who are up against the clock. They're up against the 6th man, as we like to call it, the time. Iconic, that's a good rotate into the corner. Does Cons know about that? He did pull out the gadget there. Cons looking for the swing, will find Iconic. Now it's down to Diaz. It's a good gun to have though, like a 9mm hits like a truck.
Finds himself one as Pino does get caught looking the wrong way. You'd hope to see him getting the plant down there. It's going to be Cons trying to do the same instead. The time's likely going to run out for him here. Actually gets off it. He's got 2 seconds to find this kill. Diaz, you got to keep yourself alive or get it. He gets it. Locks it in for M80. A nail-biter of a final round.
Scrappy upstairs, Scrappy downstairs, Ollie. It wasn't really a scrappy map, M80. Pretty composed for the most part. I mean, he did all the heavy lifting, didn't they, in the attacks? We know that. It was a great showing from the attacks. NIP, I think they need to step up the game. They really need to redefine themselves, because I just think that was Border from a year ago. That's what it felt like. And you're not going to win championships like that. You're not going to. You need to play like the best of them.
I think it also felt like NIP had just come off the boil a little bit. They've definitely slowed down since this morning. It was a long time ago. They